I stand on the existing protocol and I want to thank my sister, Rena Sahe, for the informative and insightful discourse she has given as an expert in fintech coming from IMS. I'm a commissioner, I'm not a financial analyst. So I'm just going to speak advocacy and policy. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are. It gives me great pleasure and indeed quite an honor to have been invited to participate at this very illustrious panel on digital innovation for sustainable development. All over the world, we know that the world is going on digitalization and there's no way we can hide from it. So let me start from the onset to congratulate the United Nations Institute for Training and Research for organizing this special event under the theme Leveraging the Digital Age, Harnessing Innovation, Scaling Financial Inclusion. And I'm happy when you talk about the gender gap in this financial inclusion. This event comes at a critical time when the COVID-19 pandemic has occasioned a new and urgent need for innovative solutions in the digital ecosystem that have an immediate impact on our lives as we wade through the new normal, doing business as unusual. From my standpoint, digital innovation, simply put, refers to the use of technology to deliver services in a better way. These days, financial services, education services, agricultural services, among others, and can be done by anyone from a tiny startup to a multinational organization. In the financial realm, digital innovation is about reaching the poor and excluded groups who may have never had access to formal financial services. Digital innovation and technology must therefore serve to help people improve their lives and ultimately foster sustainable development as well as foster the consolidation of Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. What this means, therefore, is that the most vulnerable in our communities can still receive the best set of services in a new and convenient way. You know, we do mobile banking very easily. Even my grandmother does mobile banking, and it's so interesting. We transfer money from one point to the other without going so much stress. The stress that would have gone in the 1970s, etc. So the small-scale vegetable farmer and entrepreneur can access markets through the touch of a button, have produce delivered to the consumer through touch of a button, and also payments made through the touch of a button, like we do online buying from Amazon, Alibaba, etc. Mobile wallets and money transfer platforms, product delivery platforms, taxi hailing applications are just among some of these digital innovations that are making a mark in improving our lives. In Ethiopia, where I live, for example, at the touch of a button, I can have food delivered to my home after making my selection from a range of menu of several restaurants. We are currently in the midst of an unprecedented digital and technological revolution that is impacting every sector of the economy and social life. Properly harnessed and channeled, innovations in information and technology are a sure path to the achievement of sustainable development goals. With the emergence of COVID-19, we have seen digital technologies and solutions hold the promise for providing tools that enable access to quality and tailored education and vocational learning for all. Ladies and gentlemen, for digital innovation to thrive, especially in Africa, it is incumbent upon us to ensure that the requisite innovation ecosystem is in place. These include, among others, the enabling policies, requisite skills, sustainable financing architecture for research and development, and of course, an active participation of the private sector. Africa's development blueprint, Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, that has a vision for an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa, driven by its own competent and skilled citizens, calls for speeding up actions to catalyze education and skills revolution and actively promote science, technology, research, and innovation with the ultimate aim of building knowledge, human resources, capabilities, and skills for Africa's future. This is the mandate of my department. And I believe that a good um, um, support system on digital finance can help us achieve the Africa we want. Because innovation talks about money. Without money, there can be no innovation. And to have innovation is to create. And to create is to have money to move your research from the shelf to the marketplace. And that is going through the industry. And to go through the industry, you need finance. So this morning, when I was listening to all the talk on fintech, on how to produce money, etc., I had a good education, which I'm going to apply in the next ministerial meeting on education, science and technology financing that I'll be having in the coming months. With this means, therefore, is that the most vulnerable in our communities can still receive the best set of services. Now, the African Union has also developed the digital transformation strategy, which was accepted by the head of state in 2020 summit. And this digital transformation strategy for Africa is to harness digital technologies and innovation to transform African societies and economies, to promote Africa's integration, generate inclusive economic growth, stimulate job creation, bridge the digital divide, and eradicate poverty for the continent's socio-economic development. Here, we need a lot of financing. And the more we have the source of digital financing, we can be able to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063 and Agenda 2030. When fully implemented, the strategy, that is the digital transformation strategy, is expected to spur an integrated and inclusive digital society and economy in Africa that improves the quality of life of Africa's citizens, strengthens the existing economic sector, and enables its diversification and development. We also have to be alive to some of the nascent challenges we still face in ensuring inclusivity, and that we leave no one behind. Innovation does not automatically benefit all equally. Yes. For example, smallholder women farmers in most African countries continue to be excluded from the benefits of the Green Revolution half a century after its inception, due to the gender gap in access to land, information, technologies, finance, time, and market. Closing this gender gap could immensely increase their productivity, contributing substantially to the realization of Aspiration 1 of Agenda 2063 that speaks to a prosperous Africa based on inclusive growth and sustainable development. We therefore must strive to adopt a gender-responsive approach to digital innovation. One of the many reasons for the underrepresentation of women as digital innovators and entrepreneurs is their underrepresentation in STEM and ICT-related fields. The African Union is at the forefront in addressing this gap by promotion of girls' education in STEM through its African Union International Center for Girls and Women's Education in Africa, the AUCFR, based in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. I believe that through our collaboration and joint efforts, we shall accelerate and catalyze action on inclusivity, even as we seek to maximize opportunities offered by digital innovations for sustainable development. I think with the various things I've read, have been able to respond to how does digital finance support the achievement of the sustainable development goals. The first is that place-based policies will be necessary to unleash opportunities beyond large urban areas. Then how can we leverage innovations, examples, and create concrete impact with digital finance in addressing the financial inclusion of all? We need to make digitalization benefit informal workers. And that will require equipping the youth, which is the biggest population of Africa, with adequate skills for the digital era, preventing precarious working conditions for own account workers on e-platforms, and expanding the availability and adoption of fintech solutions to the informal economy. This is what I read from the Africa Development Dynamics 2021 Digital Transformation for Quality Jobs. And to move further, a test and learn approach can create a policy environment that is fit for purpose. Moreover, African policymakers, it tells Judith, where there is a will, where the political will has a vision of sustainable development, they will put everything in place to make sure that things work. Walking the talk, going beyond rhetoric, and actually implementing on the ground. So the policymakers must support Africa's dynamic small and medium-sized enterprises and startup ecosystems so they can prosper and actively participate in the digital age. This therefore means that the presidents of the different member states should have what they call ownership of some projects that promote fintech technology. In conclusion, we need to focus on an integrated approach and build coalitions for transformative change through digital innovations where all key stakeholders, including policymakers, development partners, private sector, and the academia have a role to play. It is imperative that we leverage on the skills and insights from research and development coupled with agile and collaborative environments for strengthening innovation ecosystems in Africa. One of the great innovation thought leaders, Eric Sierle, advised that, and I quote, an innovative ecosystem must not only foster interaction, but facilitate symbiotic relationships among the various initiatives through an active effort by collective intelligence catalysts. Entities specialized in bringing together talent from companies, governments, and universities to think together about innovation opportunities. It is only through such an integrated approach that we can confidently accelerate digital innovation for sustainable development in Africa and ultimately the achievement of Agenda 2063 and the Global Sustainable Development Goals Agenda 2030. May I once again register my appreciation to the organizers for the kind invitation to join you at this event and to share my thoughts on digital innovation for sustainable development. I personally believe that the future we want for Africa coming 2063 can only be realized if we consolidate on education, on SCI, on digitalization, because the future is digitalization. We are in this journey together, and it is incumbent upon us to drive this agenda and galvanize action among all actors through improvements in policies, strategies, evidence, and innovations that will ensure impact of scale, especially for the vulnerable and marginalized. Thank you very much for this opportunity today. Thank you.